Hey guys, we are live here at Daytona for the Rolex 24-hour race. I am in this wonderful little area that Chevrolet has set up to really bring the excitement of the C8 Corvette. So right now I'm standing in front of the C8R. Of course, that's going to be racing in the Rolex 24-hour class. GTLM it's called. That goes up against the Porsche 911 RSR, the BMW M8. Lots of great competition. What's up, Jimmy? But we're going to do a nice live review of not only the C8R here on Rady's Rides on the channel live, but I'm also going to take you around. If you notice, we do have other C8s available. Now, they are not yet hitting dealerships because of the strike. They have decided, and I'm going to spin this camera around real quick. They have decided it's going to be February is probably when you're going to start to see the first. But I'm here at Daytona International Speedway for the Rolex 24-hour. It actually starts tomorrow. Being a big Corvette guy, you guys watch the channel. I wanted to showcase they have a plethora of C8s at this little area that Chevrolet has set up. So I'm going to spin around the camera again. We're going to start off with the C8R. So this is very unique because it has Chevrolet's first flat plane crankshaft. If I go ahead and zoom in on the front here, you can see the changes that have been made with the exterior lighting, but the actual lines of the C8, if you look at this one next to the street going ones over there, is spot on the money. Now the car is wider, obviously larger splitters, wings, and everything else to give downforce. Yes, Edrin, this is really awesome. What's up, Lewis? I think the part that looks most like a Camaro, Lewis, is going to be the rear end, but definitely the front is on the money. But this car has about over 700 horsepower. So this is definitely not stock, but it does have the flat plane crankshaft, which, remember, Chevrolet is saying that they're going to have that technology on the newer ones coming out when we get the Z06 and hopefully another ZR1. But let me show off what's happening here with the rotors. You can see those massive rotors, two-piece rotors. You could eat Thanksgiving Day, the whole meal off those things, but wonderful to see this car in person and to be able to share it with you guys live here at Daytona International Speedway. We just hit 180,000 subscribers, so that's really awesome. I'm not canceling the order for the GT350. As much as I love this C8 Corvette, and it's growing on me, no manual transmission is a killer. Now remember, you can get 8-speed, the first 8-speed automatic Tremec 8-speed, which is going to be that transmission of choice. What's up, Marlon? Good to see you here. But the back, it's interesting because the back of the race car, what I'm liking is this rear section looks a lot better than the street car. I think because it's even wider than the street car, and that definitely gives it a more sinister look. But this is the second time that I'm doing a live feed on the channel to showcase the C8 Corvette. Let me come over here. They actually have a couple that are all open now. Here is obviously a street going one. We got the frunk. Let me show you the frunk area. You can see how much space there is in there compared to a lot of other sports cars. New LT2 engine, 495 horsepower. With the Z51 performance package, you're looking at 0 to 60 in about 2.9 seconds. But this is the first ever mid-engine Corvette, and if you want to see the mid-engine, here we go. So there she is. You can see how they have some beautiful carbon fiber. I love the engine cover. Just the whole setup, super clean. And obviously this one has the targa top removed, and you can see how the targa top actually slots into the rear cargo area. So normally this would be open if you have the targa top on the top of the vehicle, but with it back there, it gives you nice storage. It doesn't slide around, but I'm gonna showcase this engine. I mean, that is a thing of beauty. I love the rear glass, that the way they have that set up. You can see the massive cross members and everything in there. Really, really looks good from that angle. Now, the back portion, this is where I'm gonna zonk it. On the street version, I don't like that rear end. Those large plastic vents on the side, it really kind of kills it. from the back part. And I kind of, it's interesting, when they first started putting the exhaust in the center, I was kind of against it, but now that they split it up again, I miss the center exhaust setup on it. Let me know how you feel about that. Put that in the comment section. Right now we got 131 people watching live, but this has definitely elevated the Corvette to really, really go after the rest of the mid-engine field. I mean, that's what all the engineers, the race team, they all said we need a mid-engine. I'm gonna try to wait in line here and get inside this C8 Corvette. It is obviously very busy, drawing a lot of attention. I do like the color combo on this one with that ceramic style silver. It's got the bright red interior. Remember, with this Corvette, what's different is you could actually option it 20 million different ways. You could go different steering wheels. They have 2 different steering wheels, 3 different seats, stitch work, caliper color, seatbelt color. They really took a page from Porsche's playbook to really allow you to have that specific setup of a Corvette. And that's the wonderful thing about the C8 compared to the previous generations. Now, it'll be interesting. I know from a performance standpoint that definitely this Corvette brings it, but just, I don't know, seeing the engine in the middle, it's just different. And the funny thing is, this goes all the way back to 1957, like I told you, when Zora Arkus Duntov, the true father of the Corvette, decided at Sebring that, hey, we need to start working on getting that engine in the back. That's where it really all started. And actually, all the way over, I'm gonna see if I could toggle up, in that second garage there is one of his early test cars, which I will bring that to you in a second. But as soon as we could get our turn in here, I really wanna showcase what's going on with the interior. Very, very high. The divider that separates the passenger from the driver, very, very high, and definitely gonna be interesting to see what's the deal with how people enjoy the buttons, the switch gear that runs down that divider section. But definitely from a cockpit standpoint, I love the way they did the infotainment system setup. The dash looks really great, and it's been an ongoing thing that Corvette has been elevating their interiors to be up there with the rest of basically the supercars, to be honest with you. What they've done with the C8, I thought the C7 was great. C8 from an interior standpoint, the quality is just out of control. But hopefully it's maybe gonna be my turn next to sit inside. I'm actually live on YouTube right now. I have a channel called Rady's Rides. I was wondering if I could, okay. So here we go, we're getting on in. You can see the steering wheel. It's got that flat top and flat bottom. I'm gonna kind of drop in. It's kind of difficult with the camera, but you could see the setup in here, the switch gears. This is the second time that I've sat in a Corvette, but let me get the other leg in. Just as easy to get in the C8 as it is to get into the C7. The same thing we have, remember, first time, push button transmission, no manual available. There is that new steering wheel. I love the stitch work. I love the horn, the way they got the buttons set up. And from what I understand, the technology in the infotainment system and that dash is really second to none. You can see the top portion of the dash, the interior over to the side. Really, really great setup. And I'm digging the red. The red is phenomenal. You got your paddles behind the steering wheel here. Got the nice carbon fiber trim. Really, really, the leather is great. Your cup holders, you could put a drink in there, maybe a Twinkie or two. Just don't close the lid, you'll smash it. But let me go ahead, I'm gonna get on out because there's other people that want to spectate, of course, the C8 Corvette. Let me go ahead and show you the massive calipers. This being the Z51 package, remember, you're gonna have larger calipers, larger rotors. You're gonna have that magnetic suspension setup. And what's awesome is, for the first time, a car that can memorize up to 1,000 separate GPS locations to where the car will actually raise itself. If you have a speed bump at your place of business, the car will remember that location and actually raise the Corvette for you, so that you're not gonna make any contact with that beautiful front end that they have. And speaking of the front end, they really got the lines great. Here's a little fun fact. If you look at the mirrors, the passenger mirror actually sticks out further than the driver's side mirror. So that's something, if you haven't noticed yet, and there's a reason for that. Obviously, with how wide the flared fenders are for those air intakes with the mid-engine back there, they had to locate that. They had to locate that mirror a little bit further out for the person, obviously, so you can see. Let me show off the air intake since we have the door open here. Really, really nice setup, super clean, and just in this color combination, I think is really bringing the money. I like the stripes too. Nice to see the stripes on it. I'm gonna zonk. I'm gonna be a little quiet because there's Chevrolet people here. I'm gonna zonk. There's a little too much gloss black. Little too much gloss black, especially on the side vents. Now the front vents, I'm digging it. I like this divider. Believe it or not, that divider is not for actually aerodynamic purposes. It's actually mandated by the Department of Transportation. If you go back down the side, you can see the flowing lines into the rear radiators, but this piece of plastic here, I am not digging whatsoever. To open up the door, you just reach underneath and the door opens. But this is the Z51 package. Obviously, there's a few more options that you could do. Let me kind of pivot this down and show you this side. Really, really nice, the color and everything. The stitch work is great. Like if you look at the stitch work, they did a great job there. So there's some things that they knocked it out of the park. Other things, so-so. Wheels, they're okay. I would like to see something a little bit, I don't know, racier, I guess, if that. Yeah, Frank, there are a lot of zonks. I think the biggest one, no manual transmission, and I think you can appreciate that. But expect, like I said, with the C8R over here, flat plane crankshaft, that technology is gonna make its way eventually to the street going version. Let me show off some of the other ones that we have. This is a very, very unique color. I'm kind of digging this color. It really shows the lines well, especially on the front of the car. The way that they did the styling on the front is the money. That's my favorite part. Like from this angle right here, I am absolutely loving it. They do look like snowflake wheels, don't they, Larry? This one has a little bit different style wheel. Well, not style, but the way that it's painted and machined. So you have the machined aluminum, and then you have the dark gray compared to just all silver. I think I kind of like the silver better. I'm not 100% sold on that. Here's something cool. Color match. So remember how I was zonking the gloss black? You can get it color matched. Now, obviously, that's going to cost more money, but you can get it color matched. And then check out the interior on this thing. Looks like a color right out of a Ferrari. I mean, that's something you'd expect to see on something with the prancing horse. But dropping back with the engine cover closed, you can see all the venting. I do like that. They did that extremely well. Of course, this still being a Stingray. Here's a little fun fact. Remember, Stingray did not appear in a Corvette until 1963. Eventually, it would disappear in the mid-70s, and then it made its return in 2014. Can you show the rear camera area? Yes. Let me go ahead. If there's anything in particular you want to see, chime in right now because I'm here. You can see the rear camera, the way it is mounted up top, way out of the way. There's the second rear camera. So you actually have two rear cameras, one for the mirror and one for the actual reverse on this setup. Almost 200 people watching. This is awesome. If you go over to the steering wheel, you'll notice that there is that beautiful leather material. Really, really love that. And there is the Z button. So if I come in and show you that Z button right there, that obviously is for Zora. That's going to adjust the parameters of how the engine and everything functions. Let me go back over to the C8 over here. So this is racing, first time against the Porsches, the BMWs, the Ferrari 488. Really beautiful car. Sounds different though. I was listening to it during practice. Sounds different. It's good and bad. I kind of like the deeper growl. Let me go ahead. I want to really show you something. So here is the Serve 1. This is the Chevrolet experimental research vehicle that Zora Duntov actually used to develop mid-engine technology with Chevrolet. So I'm going to say Corvette over STI, as much as I love the STI. Larry, the weight, you're looking around, depending on how you option it, around 3,800 pounds. So it all depends on how you option it, but this is a piece of Chevrolet history. Beautiful, love the colors. You can see the plaque there, donated by General Motors. Really, really cool. Let me zoom in a little bit more. But they have this great area set up. Now here's some of the wheel choices. There's another option. I like this wheel a lot better. So this wheel is working for me. You can see the snowflake in the black, looks a lot nice. And then transmission time. So remember, first time, no manual transmission. This is that Tremec 8-speed. So it's different than the Ford GT transmission because that is a 7-speed. This is an 8-speed, and I love the cutaways. This was something as a kid I used to love to go to races and car shows because my dad would be able to point out all the inner bits and whatnot of what was going on. You can see the clutch packs at the part of the transmission that's going to be that transaxle that goes up against the rear end. There's all your different gears in there. And then obviously the LT2 in all of its glory, 490 horsepower, 0 to 60 in the Z51. You're looking at 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Look at the camshaft. Remember, push rod technology. So we're still using the push rod. Here's a little education. So you have your rod, that's your piston rod. There's your piston, and then obviously everything is going to bolt to the crankshaft. You have one single camshaft on this. And then of course you're gonna have your valves. Those are open and closed to bring in air and fuel injectors up top up there. And then the intake plenum, massive. And then to wrap it up, they actually have this whole cutaway of a C8 Corvette to where you could actually see all the inner workings of how this thing is built. Now, supposedly the way the story goes is the reason why they did not do a manual transmission is that they would have had to cut a hole in that tunnel section. And they said that by cutting a hole in that tunnel section, it would actually throw off the rigidity of the frame. I don't know if I believe that. I think there would be ways to work around that. But this is what I wanted to bring to you. This is why sometimes going live is the best thing to do, because they have things on display here that you just don't regularly see all the time. Back to the engine. I was mentioning before how you could personalize your Corvette. Remember, everything from engine color cover to the brake caliper cover, stitch work, steering wheel, seats, everything is optionable to how you want to have your Corvette specifically like that. Here's the back end. If you've never seen a transaxle, this is how it works. Bolts to the back end of the car. Remember, we're trying to get that 50-50 weight distribution perfect. You can see how the exhaust is routed out. But I really, really like this cutaway. It definitely helps allow us to see, look at the beautiful, I mean, there was once upon a time where from the factory, an exhaust manifold was pretty crappy. But if you look at that exhaust manifold there, that looks like a header. That looks like a straight up race header. And that is quite impressive from Chevrolet with their first effort, their first actual effort with a mid-engine car. They did it right. Yes, you definitely gotta say, watch out Ferrari for sure. But there's a closer look of the steering wheel. Interesting setup. What's up, Ben? Great to have you here at Daytona. I'm gonna kind of walk back out, see what's going on, do another lap for you guys. Let's go over to the blue one. I really didn't show off the blue one. Is there any particular questions? Anybody have a certain question they want to ask right now while we're live on the channel? You can see this. I'm digging the blue. It really looks very similar to the blues that I've seen on 911s. Really, really awesome. The yellow calipers. You can see how this one has different style wheels. So you got the dark wheel with the machined outside portion of it, that large caliper there looking like a neon banana. Overall though, I'm very impressed. I can't wait to drive one. I already have 3 dealerships that have told me, hey, as soon as we get it in, you're gonna be all over it, and I'm gonna be all over it for sure. If somebody's saying get on it, I'm on it. Well, let's take you to the back again. Really, really nice. Just really clean how they have everything routed, and with the carbon fiber touches, those are optional, but you might want to check those boxes off because it looks pretty damn good. I'll tell you that much. Let me show you the underside here. I don't know if anybody's noticing I'm using a gimbal. So on my last live from San Antonio, some people were like, hey, use the gimbal if you can. I brought the gimbal and it's working like a champ. So you guys definitely are smart on this one. You like silver? There's a silver. So is this the ultimate Corvette, guys? Would you take this C8 Corvette over any other previous generation? That really is the question you want to ask yourself, that I'm asking, especially being a longtime Corvette fan. I've had the honor of owning one, and now to be here and see the C8 in all of its glory. Just very, very interesting setup here. Let me go ahead and hop in the passenger side here. Nobody's looking. So I'm gonna hop in the passenger side, see what this feels like. All right, so we are in the passenger side here, and actually quite comfy. Remember, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of leg room down there. Look at how much leg room I have. Look back over at the dash area, steering wheel, love the thickness, really the stitch work and everything. Here's all those buttons. So all your AC buttons, you got your heated seats, ventilated seats, so we're not zonking this one. It does have ventilated seats. Zora, everybody keeps asking for the Zora. There is that. So you hit that button, that obviously is gonna give you the utmost performance when it comes to parameters of the engine, and that 8-speed dual clutch transmission. The rest of the buttons. So obviously, I think this is gonna take time for people to get used to, but you can see how high it is. So there's my knee, here's my hand. It's actually quite high. It is one hell of a cockpit though. Everything is definitely driver focused in here. If you look on the door panels, I love the nice aluminum Bose speaker covers. You have the carbon fiber. Interior wise, there's not much for me to zonk. I would have to see if any major glare comes off of this when we do the drive. But if you notice, even on the A-pillars, you have the nice Alcantara microfiber suede material. Really, really amazing here to be in this thing. It's a beautiful car. It really is a beautiful car with some zonks, but like I said, no car is perfect. Let me go ahead, spin you back around. But this is how we do it on Randy's Rides. I'm unscripted. When I'm doing the reviews regularly, I'm unscripted. So to do this while I'm sitting here is not a big deal to be able to share this. But this one, like I said, has a lot more of that gloss black has been painted. So you do have that option. It's just gonna cost money, obviously. Let me go ahead and show you the rear. So that rear, you're looking at a 305. So 305's out back. 30 series sidewall. You can see this one has the Z51 performance package. I'm not digging this style of the wheel. I kind of like the one that it looks like a spinning blade a little bit more. I think if I was gonna get a new Corvette right now, I would get a C7. Go with a Z06 or a Z01. That'd be nice. Here's the back though, they got painted. So I'm glad that they did this to show how these areas that I zonked that were black. Yes, this thing is brown. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna zonk the color. It's a terrible color to be honest with you, but hey, it does show all the painted pieces in all its brown glory. So we definitely got to give it to them for showcasing all of that for us here. I'm telling you, this is one. Let me show you. They even got a C8 Corvette all the way up there. You know, at first I didn't like the exhaust. It's growing on me. I miss the large quad tips right in the center. That really, for me, was where it was at. Mints. Oh, we gotta talk mints, don't we? And Twizzlers and stuff like that. So there is a center console compartment. I'm gonna have to get back in. Maybe I'll get in this blue one since we haven't sat in the blue one yet, and showcase where we're gonna have some storage for some snacks. Now, obviously, with the frunk, you have a very large area where you can fit plenty of stuff. These wheels I'm liking a little bit more. I actually like the bronze option a little bit more, to be honest with you. But you can see the bright blue, the headlight design. That is true. Yeah, you don't have any controls. The controls for the passenger, they're all on that big high bridge. I'm calling it a bridge. And that's the bad part for that. But let's go back over to this one here. Maybe this one has, as soon as this guy gets out, I can hop back in. People are probably getting annoyed. They're like, who's this guy? He keeps hopping in the cars and whatnot. But if you notice in the pocket there, you do have some storage. So I could see maybe a Twinkie or two that gets in there. I'm gonna hop back in here. Here we go, one more time, just for you guys. It's actually it's easy to get in. I do like that. The sill is very, very low, but you do have a storage area, which let me see if I could spin this down for you. You do have, as we go down, this area right here. So about the size of 2 Twinkies. So you could have your 2 Twinkies in there. It is felt lined, so you're not gonna scratch your Twinkie. And we've talked about that on Rady's Rides before. No guy wants to scratch their Twinkie, but there's the infotainment system. I do like the carbon fiber on this one. It's got carbon fiber surround. The paddles are on the larger side, which is a good thing. They're bolted to the steering wheel. Some people I know, especially when you're doing track days, prefer it to be to the actual column, but that's just something to be aware of in the C8 Corvette. But I love the steering wheel is great, and of course that Z button. But let me get back out before somebody yells at me. Very, very nice how they have this set up. It was great just to let people get in them, let people figure them out. I'm gonna go back over to, we got 209 people watching live. That's pretty wild to have that many. And I appreciate all your guys' support. It really is cool to be able to share this with you. Any other questions? I'm seeing the part about doing it on the phone, which is the hardest, is seeing the questions. But let me go ahead and show you that. Somebody asked about the frunk. There is the frunk. So definitely you could fit 2 carry-ons in that. It is quite deep, which is good. But, you know, I think that the more you're going to see it, the more you're going to probably start to love it. It's taken me a little bit, I'll be honest with you. Especially during the first practice session, when I saw this car out on track, I was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about that. But it's great to be here at Daytona and definitely bring you guys along. I don't know if anybody here I think silver is really working for me. So this one right here is just, I think if you're gonna give me one, I would go silver. If Chevrolet is listening right now and they wanna give Rady's Rides a C8 Corvette, I'll take this one. I do like the interior, the darker red.
I'm excited about it.
It's different. It really is different. But yeah, no manual, that's a bummer. The hood though, they really got that on the money with all those specific lines there. Of course, the iconic Corvette flag goes all the way back to 1953. 1953, man. But remember, 53, it was a straight 6 and an automatic, a Power Glide 2-speed transmission. So, boy, things have changed. And it's kind of interesting that here we are complaining that it has an automatic, but the first one had an automatic. These do not have the battery. They are not letting me turn on the lights. I'll see if I can. You know what? Since you asked, I'm gonna go see if I get in trouble, I'm gonna say you guys told me to do it. Let's see here. Very, very nice setup. But I'm gonna wait and see if this gentleman. Let me ask him. Do the lights work? Do they have the lights on? I want to see. I was curious to see if the daytime run now looks like. I'd love to see what the daytime running lamps look like and whatnot. Oh, wait, are they on? Yes, they are on. Thank you. So you can see the daytime running lamps here kind of flows down. You see how the camera is picking up the flow of the LED? Now that is only on camera, guys. So don't get weirded out that they actually flow like that. But you do have your LED projector beam all blacked out. You can see the nice shape to it, the really, really nice curve to it. But this is cool. This is why I'm so glad I brought this gimbal and we're live. This is the second time doing a live review on Rady's Rides. Another thing I want to show you that I'm actually quite impressed is they even got you covered with a 12 volt in here. And if anybody locks you in, like if somebody locks you in the front, you just hit that and that gets you out. So if you're ever gonna get locked in a frunk, they got you covered. But you can see the daytime running lamps look good. Let's see if I can run to the back with these lights. You know, it's one of those things. When the C7 came out, I was bummed out that the taillights weren't round. They've even moved further away from that. So if you were hoping that they were going to come back together and do the round taillights, no, that is a zonk for me. I would like to see. It's just, to me, it's heritage, guys. It's tradition. There's certain things that I don't care about the freaking performance. I want to know that, hey, when I'm driving, I could look at a 1963 or a 1970 and see the similarities. Let me show you underneath the back here, the diffuser area. Really, really awesome that I could bring all this to you in a live format. I hope you guys are liking this. Are you guys liking this live stuff? I'm gonna try to go live. Now, there is a 4-hour endurance race today, and I wanna go live right before the race on pit road. Hopefully you guys can make it. If you wanna see that, definitely let me know. But this is the plan. I would like to try to integrate more live content into the channel, because I really feel that I do live anyways. None of this stuff is scripted on Rady's Rides. So this is it. Let's go over the facts a little bit. Once again, 490 horsepower. You have that optional where you could have 1,000 different locations in the GPS where the car will raise and lower. Of course, the performance data recorder is gonna be in here, the whole 9 yards. That is an option, of course. But everything else, interesting. While I was talking here, you could see the turn signal, how it's built into that side mirror there. Really, yeah, the wheels are a little plain, guys. The calipers look awesome. Look like a big bushel of Twizzlers, man. That's how large they are. But the wheels are kind of lacking. So I am gonna zonk these wheels. You're looking at Pilot Sport 4S's on this particular one. Anything else you guys want to see with the C8? Any questions? Like I was telling you before, to get in the actual door, it's right here, right where I push. You see how they actually brought the vent for the radiators into the door. So when you open up the door, actually part of that vent is coming with you. Let me go ahead. We've already gotten in, but I'm gonna go ahead and get in this one. Nobody's yelling at me yet, so. There we are behind the wheel. The beautiful blue stitch work. So if you like blue, they got you covered with a nice bright blue. Different, nice little heel palm. You got a wheel underneath here to go through your different modes. The carbon fiber. There's the push button system for that 8-speed. Nice large infotainment system. And then there's all our switches on the right-hand side. Let me bring you over to the passenger. The carbon fiber. Yeah, I'm this blue. This blue, if you want to be seen, this is the blue to have for sure. And then when you close it, there you go. I think I would like to have this all blued out. Somebody just made a comment about Smurfs. That's funny. But you can see how much wider. Now, if you're gonna watch the Rolex 24-hour this weekend, the C8R is actually way wider than what the C8 street car is. And that's all within the rules. The GTLM class is not meant to be totally production based. They take the production car and then they're gonna do extra to it. I love what they're doing for all the different lighting setup on this car. That's phenomenal, because remember, when you're racing 24 hours, especially here at Daytona where it's dark for a large amount of time, you want that lighting. Let me go ahead and show you the venting. Very similar to what is on the street car. A massive carbon fiber rear wing. Still got 145 people watching. It's freaking awesome. You guys are awesome. This is just, thank you for letting me share my passion. Thank you for letting me share Daytona with you. You guys are on, look how wide that thing is. See, now doesn't the C8R look better? Oh, David, thank you, man. I really appreciate that super chat. David, thank you for the super chat. You're really awesome. That really always helps out and goes towards doing more with the channel, going more places. We got the Chicago Auto Show next, but you can see just with the race car, the look of it is menacing from the back. I mean, look at that. Wow, yeah, you're right. You are 100% right, Michael. That diffuser is crazy and more crazy on top of that. Let me kind of zoom in here. Look at that, the exhaust. Is that carbon fiber? Yes, it's carbon fiber, of course. But I'm telling you, the aerodynamics on this thing, flat plane crankshaft, flat plane crankshaft. What car has a flat plane crankshaft? Well, of course, a lot of Ferraris and other exotics, but Shelby GT350 has a flat plane crankshaft as well. As you can see, lots of people here. This is Friday. This is not the busy day. You come tomorrow for when the race starts, that's where things get crazy. There's the trunk area with the tonneau cover in the back. If you're going to Chicago Auto Show, stay tuned because we're gonna have details for a nice meet and greet. It's gonna be wonderful. I wanna meet more of you guys in person. You guys are so supportive with this channel and you guys make it what it is. I do wanna race a Corvette. If they give me the keys, I'm out of here. But here's that front area. Beautiful work. I mean, all the welds and everything. You see those radiators that are at the front of the vehicle. C8 Corvette Z01 is not going to be for a couple years. You're too soon. First, we got to get Z06. Of course, they're probably going to make a Grand Sport model. Here's everything open once again. Are those run? So they are run flats, but you can actually have the run flat, or you could have a different tire setup. No Cup 2s though. So if you're looking for something like Cup 2, those aren't available yet. Will they be available at some point? For sure, but not right now. I'm gonna suspect when they do Z06, those would be Cup 2s. Let me grab my backpack. Thankfully, nobody has taken that. I was just so focused on making sure I got the content for this that I was like, the hell with my backpack, right? Yes, Noir, I want to see you at the Chicago Auto Show. It's going to be a great show. I can't believe this, 151 people. Let me spin the camera around so you can see my mug. So there I am, guys, here at Daytona. It kind of was last minute. I know there was somebody, and thank you for the super chat again. Really, really appreciate it, David. That super chat really helps out. Everything helps out. Are there going to be any new cars at the auto show? Heck yes. New Chevy Tahoe. I'm expecting the new Escalade to be there, the 2021 Escalade. I'm expecting the Yukon, the Genesis SUV, all that good stuff. But this was kind of like last minute. Thankfully, some of my friends over at Honda really took care of me with the proper credentials. With this, I could pretty much go anywhere. So thank you, Davis and everybody at Honda. They're really awesome. And everybody at IMSA too. IMSA, International Motorsports Association, they're the sanctioning body for this race. 12 Hours of Sebring, all the big ones, all the endurance sports car stuff. I better stop walking around here. Kind of cool, that billboard up there. Really, really like that. Looking good. I can't believe we got 155 people here watching live. So I'm gonna expect that that you guys like the live stuff. If you like the live stuff, definitely blast up a comment right now because I like doing the live stuff. This is how I was. Oh, thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian. I really, really appreciate that, Harold. I really appreciate that. I am Harold. Really great to have the super chat. It's interesting, that comment about GM and what they produce. I really feel like the Corvette is on a totally different level. Totally different level. Not built at any other factory besides Bowling Green, Kentucky. Besides the Camaro ZL1 1LE, it's the only Chevrolet I would buy personally. But I will definitely drop more of these Jinx for sure. It does look like a Chevy dealership. It's pretty freaking wild. They did a great job. Let me spin the camera around. I'm gonna back up here. So if you look off in the distance over here, all the way over there, that's Victory Lane. So that's Victory Lane, the Gatorade Victory Lane. There's the Daytona International Speedway. And then here is this beautiful display that Chevrolet has set up. Thank you, Larry. You rock, man. That's really, really awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome of you to say, Larry. The great support. I'm really digging this whole setup that they have here. But if you want to see more, of this live stuff on Rady's Rides, let's definitely put something in the comment section so that I know to do it. But here's some accessories. So you have different accessories, and this is totally besides the way that you could option the Corvette. Remember the Corvette, they took a page from Porsche's playbook. You could option a lot of different ways, stitching, seat belts, the whole 9 yards. You got your different Corvette script, floor mats. I'm zonking those mud guards. We're zonking those right there. So do not put those on your C8 Corvette if you're buying one of those, please. Please do not do that. That's a personal request from Rady's Rides to you. And then we come over here. Ooh, here's a lot nicer stuff. So we have carbon fiber mirrors, beautiful wet weave carbon fiber. We have that beautiful red engine cover. Really, I mean, this is a nice looking cover. It's plastic, but it looks good. No splash guards, no mud flaps, please. Really, really cool, all the different things that they have. And then coming back around, you can see the wing up top. Thank you guys once again, those who did the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Here's the taillights again. Really, really nice. Yes, I do have nightmares about mud flaps on Corvettes. Mud flaps on any sports car. I'm not putting mud flaps on the GT350. Here is, like I said, this is the Serve 1. So this is Zora Duntov developed this car to test the mid-engine technology. This thing is a piece of artwork. You gotta know where you came from to know where you're going. That's the bottom line. And if you don't know who Zora Duntov is, here's a picture of him. So that's him right there. Zora Arkus Duntov, the man who put the V8 in the Corvette. So that's the awesome thing about him and everything that he's done. But I am gonna go ahead and venture a little bit more, see what's going on in the pit area. Stay tuned, I'm gonna try to go live again here from Daytona. Can't do it without your great support. I hope everybody's having a great Friday. We are still gonna have uploads, so don't think just because I'm at Daytona, the review stop. Tonight I have a very, very interesting Chevy Tahoe that I want you to watch, and I want you to give me your input on it. It's got some modifications to it that I think will either make you smile or make you cry, one or the other. But definitely stay tuned. That over the weekend we got great stuff coming, and just like always, I'll see you guys on the next ride. Have a great Friday, guys. Bye.